this is kind of a different thing. Today we're going to be kind of performing a little bit of surgery, specifically on this right here. So I'm going to have to do a transplant because this has to replace my motherboard, because of the plain and simple fact. So I currently have a B650 motherboard. It's the it's the gaming series by Gigabyte. I forgot what the entire name. It's a little way too fucking long to remember. So I gotta replace it because currently what's inside it, I gotta get that straightened out. So currently what's inside of it is a Ryzen 9, an AMD Ryzen 9. Hard to do that with one hand. So now that's off there. Yeah, I have a bit of a mess. That's my office. Get over it. So specifically, that is like underneath of here, which is my AIO. By the way, fantastic. Montech makes a fantastic AIO. It's got my chip, really cool. Also, it's an entirely Montech case. Definitely gonna have to probably vacuum out the filter with my little vacuum back there, and probably gonna be swapping off the panel, or I might just leave it be just for the meantime until I can actually like get around to doing that. Or I might just do that because I have to transplant the CPU anyway, so I'll at least rotate those fans and then put them back the way they were. So, and then put on the glass panel in favor over this mesh panel, which is not bad. It's not a bad mesh panel. So it's honestly not a bad panel, but I kind of want to go back to a more clean aesthetic. So that way, we're having much more of a clean aesthetic for the whole PC. So yeah. Sorry if everything's super wonky. This is the first time I'm really filming on this. It's been a minute since I've even done any sort of videos or whatnot, or really long form videos about my stuff. So yeah, it's kind of a new thing, but gonna try and do it. Yeah, I got that light right there, but probably gonna put on a little bit of the rest of my lights here for ambiance. Might throw everything off, but oh well, we learn. I mean, learn what to do. So, or actually, let me be able to show you a little bit clearer, roughly what we're doing. So that's the motherboard right there. Obviously, I have my 96 gigs of RAM, my 7900 XTX, which has 24 gigs of VRAM. It has the magnetic fans under there, which you can't see super well at the moment, but we'll work on that. And then kind of down there, you get the standard Montech fans. They work great. They're phenomenal. Along with these fans right over here. So I'm trying to get it to do. No. Yeah, there they are. So those are the fans I was talking about. Still trying to get used to this camera. First time really filming on this camera. So yeah, gonna actually put this on probably the stand real quick, and we'll get started. So main reason why is because I had to replace my motherboard is simply due to the fact that I did not realize that my motherboard, unfortunately, is not fully compatible with Ryzen 9000 series. Kind of annoying, especially when you need it to be compatible with Ryzen 9000 series. But you have a Ryzen 9900X, and I really like that chip, and I got it for a great deal. I got it for like $300. When it's going for like $370, $380, just about everywhere else. So yeah, I kind of like that chip, but sadly I can't use it right now because current motherboard won't allow. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun thing. I'm probably gonna have to chop this up to multiple different videos, but this is kind of the intro. Sorry it's a bit long. That's, like I said, still trying to get used to some of this shit. But definitely gonna be interesting. So actually probably should have gotten a little taller stand, but whatever. We're gonna make do. So yeah. So first things first, going to, yeah, no, not sponsored, not even close. 0 sponsors. Probably never gonna be any sponsors, but I like doing tech shit for fun. So this actually has 4 screws. If you can see, it has 4 screws for the AIO pump. It's a nice, very, very, very nice cooler. So I'm actually gonna have to take off the standard AM4 block, which is gonna suck a little bit, but I'm taking off that. Actually, I should technically take out my GPU first, because that definitely has to go out. And I'm probably gonna be removing these special cable extensions, just to make sure that there's no instability even coming from any of them. Because I am running a bit of a wonky connection, and I'll show you guys that it's basically like the high powered, the NVIDIA bullshit that MSI, for some stupid reason, and no, this is not a fully metal ring. It actually is a metal with silicone on the inside, so it kind of bridges the gap where it's both titanium and silicone simultaneously. So doing that, gotta take out those 2 screws. I do like the way that this screwdriver works, even though I don't agree 100% with, or most, or really on certain viewpoints that LTT or some of the people have from there on viewpoints. One thing I am actually looking forward to on the new motherboard is the quick release, which, yeah, as you might be able to see, this is the beautiful 90, or shit, crap. This is my 7900 XTX. Yeah, looks absolutely beautiful. Cost me about $909, which when I even looked on the website later on, it ended up actually being a little bit more expensive than that shortly after I bought it from Micro Center. So Micro Center for the win. Got this card. It's absolutely incredible. It only takes 3 8-pin power connectors, not the 12 volt, the 12 by whatever high volt power BS that NVIDIA keeps showing all over the place. So I'm going to set that aside. Not sure why it's not sitting down. Oh, that's why. Make sure the gold pins don't touch anything. So yeah, now we can actually fully get at the board. It's going to take a while. This video is probably going to have to get cut down. Probably most definitely going to have to get cut down. Just due to the length of it. But part of it I'm probably going to end up rambling throughout this, just because that's, I mean, what else are you going to do? Just stare at nothing, and just, at least it'll sound like I'm rambling, but I'm not just rambling, because I'm talking to the camera, as it's supposed to. But while I'm at least talking, I might as well at least get ahead on some things, which is going to be good. Probably in this instance, I'm going to take the box, and actually my CPU box, put it over here on my desk. So this is kind of going to be like kind of a build thing, slash like showing my setup and shit. So this is generally my setup. I have a 49-inch monitor. I used to have 3 monitors. I used to have a 34-inch ultra wide, a 27-inch, which is still in my setup, 27-inch ultra wide, or 27-inch curved, and then a 32-inch flat screen. I ended up actually selling the 34-inch ultra wide to my buddy. He's loving that right now, absolutely. Kind of the rarest of my setup though is my mouse. It's a Pulsar. I've been actually using it on like in purely wireless, but the problem is they actually have nice glass skates, which end up actually being a little bit too nice, where if I even accidentally, like when I'm walking away from my PC, it'll actually jiggle the mouse and turn on my PC, which bugs the ever living piss. Instead of actually going into the BIOS and changing some stuff, I just leave it be. That's where the motherboard is going to be right now. That's my keyboard. It's an AL80 from Yunzi. Fantastic. Along with, that's my 8-bit Do Ultimate 2 controller. 2C, I don't remember, but it was like one of the special Wu-Chang versions. Followed by, of course, I have my, I want to say Mackie speakers. I don't remember what the company is. And then I have some little Funko Pops. Of course, you gotta have Brothor and Cara Dune. Absolutely sweet. They don't even sell that version of Cara Dune anymore, so I'm really happy I picked that up. My microphone is actually a bit unknown to a lot of streamers and whatnot. Signed by Alex the Terrible, lead singer of Slaughter to Prevail. As you can tell, I'm a bit of a fan. And then of course my state flag, which is awesome. Another thing from Alex the Terrible, signed by the whole band of Slaughter to Prevail. Fantastic guys. Good band if you're into that kind of music. If you're into deathcore, death metal, whatever, however you want to actually refer to it as, go for it. I don't care. I'm not the kind of person who's going to be that butthurt if you say certain shit, whatnot. But yeah, it's going to be kind of fun. It'll be enjoyable. So, gotta get the packaging out of the way. And then get the motherboard out, which this is going to be beautiful. I'm super stoked about this. Or actually, right before I do, let me pull this out so you can actually get to see the motherboard. And yes, I understand you guys are probably going to go nuts in the fucking comments. Oh my god. Because if you actually, since I already showed you the box for the motherboard, you are immediately going to note, nope, not that. You're going to immediately notice this is more of a silver white motherboard. And as you know, my case is red and black. But there's no RGB on the top. There's just some light RGB over here, light RGB right here, and light RGB coming from the bottom pans. So for the most part, it's a very dark case. It was kind of the intention of like having more of like a Doom, because I love the Doom games. That's why I have that. Alex the Terrible also ended up actually doing, like, covering a couple Doom songs. Absolutely phenomenal, and did some lyrics for him. Fantastic. But yeah, so now we're going to get to work on this. I actually have to remove one of the drives. My main drive is right up here, and then I have my second and tertiary drives. I was actually noticing that apparently, at least via PC Part Picker, that if I actually don't remove, if I put, that drive is going to be right above my GPU, and then the other two may have to be in the bottom two slots instead, because otherwise it could potentially limit my GPU down to by 8, which I really don't want, because I have a 4x16, and I want the 4x16, but I'm probably going to have to actually go in the BIOS and change that to 4x16 instead of being 4x8 or 5x8, which I don't need. PCIe Gen 5. I understand I'm rambling. That's just how this is going to be. I'm probably going to have to cut it down again. It's probably going to get down, or I might just upload this whole fucking thing. We'll see. I don't know. Yes, I cuss. Get over it. If you don't like it, don't watch. It's just one of those coping things that I have. It's just how I am. It's something that some people like, some people don't like. If you don't like it, yeah. Look at me. I swear I drink, but I do really cool stuff. This, I did actually take a look at the motherboard box a little bit earlier. This is genius. Thank you, Gigabyte. So what this essentially is or crap. It's not wanting to zoom in, like focus in on it, but it's probably not going to want to focus in on it at all. But essentially what this is a simple G connector. So that way you can have, let me see if I can get it to focus on this for a second. Yeah, focus in on that, which essentially for any of your I/O. Of course, it thinks the subject was lost. So essentially what it is a, so that way you can plug in all your front I/O. Of course, it came with a nice cool sticker with Aorus. This is a Gigabyte Aorus motherboard. I might put it on my PC, might not. Who knows? We'll see. I might, just because it's a cool badge, or I might put it on like my phone case or some shit. So this is probably one of the simplest designs for Wi-Fi, because it's literally just a 2-prong. It's probably not focusing in, but it's, I'll try to show it outside of it, or let me just tear it open right now, so I can at least show the adapter. So it's basically a 2-prong adapter, where, so that way you can just do, compared to my current one, which you actually have to screw them on, and it's kind of a pain. It's annoying. I understand some people like, you know, to screw everything in. I like, for certain things, I just like convenience. But yeah. Oh, and for the last part of my setup, that I do have a high quality XLR. I had to actually look for that thing, do a bunch of research. Really fun, but that's like, just get a simple audio interface. I was using a 5-fine microphone, but I ended up going to the Sonai. I forget what it is. It's on here somewhere, but yeah, it's kind of a cool case and everything for it. Alex, a terrible mic, so I can sound as terrible as he does. So of course, you now have the terrible mic, so you can improve your terrible singing, which is accurate. Oh yeah, there we go. Soyuz V1, if you can read that. Soyuz V1. Again, if any of this stuff looks terrible, it's my first time not used to actually having to do any of this stuff, so just giving it a shot, just seeing how you guys like it. It's gonna be enjoyable, regardless. So let me get this motherboard out of its slot, which it's been very tedious to get out. Oh, there we go. It was in there very heavily. Yes, I'm dangling it off of my desk. No, I'm not going to drop it, but even if I do, it'll be okay. Let me do that. Yes, I'm doing it while everything is kind of exposed, but this is a part that I do hate. I hate the way they tape this sometimes, because sometimes the tape ends up sticking to itself while you're even trying to get the motherboard out, which can be very, 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 very annoying and very tedious. Some of the stuff I may end up skipping to the end, just FYI. Well, definitely before I end up skipping some of the stuff, I may end up cutting it and trying to figure out how to edit it all together. I don't know how to edit. I've never edited in my life, but well, it could be a fun adventure. I might even take you guys on it, like figuring out how to. But now for the motherboard look. Oh my god. That thing, it doesn't want to respond. Gotta get that camera. So yeah, obviously you can see the camera drag and shit. But yeah, definitely gotta remove those 4 screws once I get it into the motherboard and whatnot. I'm gonna have to swap over my processor, obviously. Of course, probably that's not super tight. Not thrilled by that, but let's take a look at it. Oh, we can. Hell yeah. So yeah, definitely factory. Not very thrilled with that. That ends up looking like that, but okay, whatever. As long as the thermal pad, which it looks pretty clean. A little bit fell off. So yeah, looks like when they were actually trying to assemble it, it's probably gonna be a lot tauter. Just whenever it's there. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely loose because it doesn't have any CPU under there. But I do so far like the fact that it does come up pretty seamlessly, and it does have the quick release, so I don't actually need any screws, so that actually makes sense why when I was actually looking for it. So this is what I was actually talking about. This is apparently the one where don't put it in there at all, otherwise it'll limit my PCIe speeds. So definitely don't want to do that. I need my speeds. I need my speeds, man. I need my fucking speeds. Yeah. Ooh, that's very snappy. I like the quick release. That's beautiful. Just beautiful. All the system fans and everything. USB 1, 2. That's the one I'm definitely excited about. Oh, it has also an internal motherboard HDMI, which is definitely unique. For some of the I/O, I'm gonna try and get this over there so you can see. Of course, it doesn't want to look like that. So yeah, we of course have two USB 3.2s, USB A's, two USB 4. I'm not sure the speeds of all of them off the top of my head, and then of course a couple of USB 2s, definitely helpful, as well as USB 3.2, HDMI, of course, always helpful. Some more USB 3.2s. One of them is actually the BIOS one, so I'm gonna have to probably flash the BIOS before I fully spin it up, and I'm probably gonna be reinstalling my machine. I might not. I might actually just do it as whatever the default was on my last machine, which of course is gonna be on my other drive, which I might actually just try and get that now. So that way it makes it easier. So let me peel this up because I need that. Oh, that's so satisfying. Super satisfying. Always love doing peels. They're so much fun. And if I start perspirating, I'm a very large person, if you haven't noticed. Ooh, I just noticed something that I do want to point out on this motherboard. Because I've not had a motherboard that has this feature. This little quick release. Right there. Yeah, right there. Which, never had that on a motherboard, but really excited to be able to use that. Also, never actually had a numbered BIOS, which is going to be really fun. So actually, you're probably going to need you, and you. Double check. Because usually these are labeled. They apparently are. Yep, they are. Cool. So yeah, I'm going to need this one and this one because I only have 2 sticks. But even though it's only 2 sticks, it may only be 2 sticks, but it's 96 gigs, baby. That's all I care about. I have 96 gigs of RAM. I bought it shortly before the shortage. Like literally weeks before the shortage, so I'm really excited about it. I was really stoked that I was able to get that. Yeah, you're gonna be doing a lot of moving around. Like literally, my desk is right behind me, and my workspace is also right behind me as well. So it's always fun. And I gotta change my bed. That's where this does actually come in handy. If you don't have one, it's fine. I'm not going to shame you for not having one. My buddy didn't have one. He ended up getting just like an iFixit kit, I believe. I have multiple iFixit kits all over my room. Actually, that's a lie. I have them all over my house. So, yeah. It's going to be kind of fun since I haven't actually done anything on my PC like this in a hot minute. And there's a little bit of fuzz on there, not too big of a deal. Set that on backwards. And the drive that I actually got, which I'm probably one of the few people who ended up snagging this in the first place, which still stoked that I did. And I'm gonna take out this drive Yep. It still works great. Absolutely phenomenal drive. It's by a company called Solidigm. Intel ended up selling them to, I forget which company, but Intel does not own them anymore. But it's a company called Solidigm. This is a P44 Pro. I'm going to put this in over here real quick. So that way it's already in there. Beautiful. Beautiful. How about that in my face? And of course it doesn't want to. Alright, we're gonna flop and flop. Hey! Found my face again. Cool. So that helped. Cool. Now I gotta take out my other two SSDs. Actually, I'm gonna put in the NVMe and put back the card in case, because most likely what's gonna happen with this board is I'm gonna end up selling it to a buddy of mine. He ends up actually getting, he ends up being a bit behind me, just due to the fact of, and even though if you actually did notice on the B650 board, it does actually even say that it is a Gen 5 SSD compatible. I don't have a Gen 5 SSD because I don't see the point in it, because most of the workloads that I have that require SSDs already have really good high enough speeds, and I'm also not even using Windows. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I enjoy it immensely. I haven't been on Windows. For those of you who may crap on me in the comments, I don't use Windows and I don't care. I haven't for, I think the last time I used Windows consistently on my personal PC, it's back in 2020. Because, come on. These screws do not want to come out. Oh, there we go. That was some very, oh my god. Some of the thermal goop actually ended up going in there because apparently I tightened it down a little bit too much onto my Solidigm too. Damn. No. Oh, I see why. Because apparently it was not screwed down enough. It's just sad. And I'm just peeling it off with my fingernails, which I need to really trim. But if you guys like this kind of shit, then awesome. Oh, that's why. Because I couldn't find my third screw for my motherboard. Or they just didn't give me one. Either way, I do and make do. You know what's coming out of this system is my really good drives. Served me well for my last, I have a, yeah, because one of the drives is actually going to be going slightly above the other one, because I actually have two different drives, which of course I have a 3-drive system. I have a total of 7 terabytes. One of them is my Silicon Power, I think it's, I want to say it's the U70, yeah, U75, 4 terabyte, at least like 7 gigs, read and write. It's a 3D NAND, NVMe, PCI Gen 4x4, works great, phenomenal. And then the other one is, again, a Solidigm drive, which is phenomenal. Love this shit. Works great. I've had absolutely no issues whatsoever. And no, don't worry, I'm not fucking up the actual chips. It's literally all the chips are on one side for both of them, or all three. So thank God. But the other drive is another solid item. It's the P41 instead of the P44. It's the P41 plus, but it's a 2 terabyte Gen 4 drive, which awesome. Love this shit. So let's take you guys over here so I can keep kind of yammering on about what I'm doing. And it apparently lost me. I don't know how it lost me, but whatever. So we're gonna put these in slots 3 and 4. Fantastic. So let me rotate. Sensitivity on this button is terrible. So yep, there's my P41, and there's my 2 terabyte, my 4 terabyte. It's fantastic. Very impressed with the little locking mechanism. So you guys can see it in action there, and it's just down. And then I have to peel off 2 of them, so that way, which are much thicker pads. So very excited to do that. Just do not want to take off the pad itself. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed for both the bottom ones. Get them cool like that. Get that lined up. And yes, don't try to butcher me in the comments. So there we go. Now all 3 drives have been installed. We have 1 and 1, 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, and 1 and 4. So no, probably not going to end up having a 4th drive, because even though I have the capability of doing it, even if I did that, I'd probably end up doing something different. Man, that actually just looks so cool. And that's going to really help because I have big stubby fingers. So get over it. But now comes a little bit more of an interesting part. And yes, I am currently sitting down, but for this, I need to raise my chair. Ugh, bugger. There we go. I was able to finally find me again, because apparently I moved too fast. Yeah, I scraped my ass. So now we're going to come over here and start working on the rest. It's going to be exciting. And the reason why I literally have this to get, and this is not actually just a regular, I mean, technically it's just a regular old, it once did. All right, whatever. Come over here. No, over here. So this thing is not pulling as well as I would hope. Let me disconnect the 24 pin. So I understand, yes, you guys can't see it, but I will show you guys definitely. Oh, that's actually probably a simpler way of doing certain things. Is if I actually remove my RAM, swap that over. So I can kind of show you guys, no, it's not loading. I just have really weird timing. Because I was actually not even originally there for a PC part, but I ended up getting, well, a set of parts, which, yeah. If you guys can see, and I'm being very gentle with this because I need this RAM. It is the Team Group T-Create, which kind of looks like this. So it's the Team Group T-Create. I know the camera's going nuts right now. T-Create. It's a 48 gig. It's 2 48 gig DIMMs. CL 32 by 39 by 39 by 84. 1.4 volts. So really solid kit of RAM. So far has done me great. So I'm moving all these parts over one by one, or the kind of section by section. So A, I can ramble, and B, I can make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. Because plugging everything up, you guys don't want to see that. This is boring. If you want to do that, go watch LTT and watch Linus drop something. Yes, I'm slamming somebody else who makes way more money than I do because I think it's fun. Beautiful clips. And also the T-Create. Make sure the brand, so at least for the label for my T-Create, want to make sure that the label goes in towards the CPU. There we go. I was wondering why I didn't hear a second click. Now I did. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm trying to do this so that way you guys kind of know what I'm going to be doing on, and kind of know what I'm using. It's like an Asus monitor. I don't remember which specific one. I think it was a tough one. And then also a Samsung. It's one of these Samsung Odyssey G9s. No, it's not the OLED one. I'm cheap. I only spent $900. I didn't spend $1,500. I spent $900. Sue me. And of course, actually, if you need a good pair of snips, Klein Tools the Klein Tools makes the little snips that I love in USA. So go USA. The reason why I like these is they're so precise and so fine that when I have to cut anything from, I think I have it in my, nope, I don't. Yeah, anything from like a Velcro strap, which I like using these over, I much prefer like snipping all these all apart, and I keep them, which is why I have literally like a giant bundle of them right here, along with the ones that came with my TV, because they're handy, make things significantly easier doing than if I had anything else. Because I hate having to like snip something that, like, with a, why am I blanking on the term for them? I don't know why I'm blanking on the term for them, but I am. Don't like it, sue me. Go for it. You're not gonna get much money. I mean, hell, I work in IT. I don't have that much money. I'm not like some big YouTuber like LTT or Jay's 2 cents or some shit, but yeah. And probably some of the, I'm already predicting more than likely that this is probably gonna get age restricted, but oh well. I'm not doing this for the views, I'm doing this for fun. I literally just do this shit for fun. And if I end up getting notoriety from it, cool. If I don't, oh well. I'm not doing this for clicks or views, or I want to be the greatest YouTuber of all time. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, oh well. I have a family. I have a loving wife and kid. A beautiful kid. No, you're probably not going to ever see her. So, yeah. Most likely never going to see my kid. At least not now. Later on, if I end up actually employing my kid, probably. But right now, no. I'm just a tattooed vet who Likes doing tech. Always have, always will. I need to actually finish up this whole arm because it's bothering me that I don't have everything. I don't have a full arm on either side. I just have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I need to get more. I really want to get more on. Hopefully, once I can actually get back to working, I can actually get the knuckles that I'm planning on. Because, well, yes, I'm wearing my ring right now. I don't always wear my ring because sometimes I forget. I'm forgetful. Welcome to the party. You guys probably forget shit too. That's how it goes. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes, I mean, it's not on purpose. I just forget. That's just kind of how it goes. And I forgot where I put those. There you are. Like I said, so I'm putting these back on so I can make sure that I damn near. I was gonna work on my CPU, but now I can't because I got distracted. Why? Because I gotta put my M.2, because I forgot to put my M.2 shield back on. Also, just even really notice this shit. Who in the hell has a 20, like a, not a 2280, like a 22-110? Who's a 22-110 for an SSD? And yes, this is one of my little, this is not technically an M.2 screw, but I was able to get it to function as one for a good while. So that's probably why I ended up denting it a little bit, but sadness. But it works. I like things that work. Or, I'm stupid. Never mind. It's 22-110 because that's what this shit is. Now let me slip that back. I already did. Great. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are having a fun time. I may end up probably partway through this, end up just streaming on my YouTube, maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I may not. You may find out, you may not, but probably not. Just because I don't feel like streaming off of my phone. I have my phone die, and that just sucks. So let me unplug my CPU AIO. I gotta unplug that. Come on. Come on, I don't want any bent pins. There you go. And no, I actually don't have to worry. And like I kind of mentioned earlier, this kind of popped up in my head. Oh yeah, I forgot I had that on there. I'm probably actually gonna try and keep this because I actually bought thermal paste because I wasn't sure if this was actually gonna stick. But let me show you guys. So I still have this thermal sheet from the cryo sheet from Thermal Grizzly. It did rip a slight amount, but if you actually look at it, you can't even really notice. Like, it's still on there. It still has the imprint of my CPU on there. And the reason why I like it, main reason why I like it is because of the fact that it makes absolutely no mess at all. It's fantastic. I love that about it. It's completely messless, not any sort of chaotic or any bullshit. I'm probably not going to actually do those fans like I said I was going to do, because more than likely it's going to require me actually removing, that's going to require me removing entirely my AO. This is not that big of a deal, but since I'm doing a video, I definitely don't want to do that right now. That's a later video of kind of rearranging my system again, just because I'm kind of also too lazy and a little bit too irritated to do that at the moment. Welcome to Flip. I don't remember where that thing went. Fire. I don't remember where that actually went. So we're gonna go on a field trip because I need to double check and see where I put my Montec thing because it's not immediately in my room. I don't remember. I don't think I threw it away. I want to say no, I didn't throw it away. And if you hear any noise in the background, it's my family. Blogger. Okay, I think I did throw away that box, which is very tedious of me and may require me doing something that I don't necessarily recommend. Because I don't see my AIO box, which is kind of a problem now. Because it actually came with some really cool, oh, there it is. Never mind, I didn't throw it away. Because the reason why this matters is due to the fact of there is a part in here that I really need. What's that part, you may ask? Oh my god, I'm so glad you fucking asked. It's not that, although they do actually try to give you a silk screen if you actually want to try and redo it, so I'm definitely not going to throw that away. This is why I don't really throw away a lot of stuff, because I have more standoffs for if I wanted to swap to Intel, but that's never happening, because they have like LGA 21, 2011, Intel 1700, and Intel 1150X/1200. So definitely don't need that. But I'm trying to remember where I put that damn thing. Because, yeah, that's the Intel light bracket. I don't remember where that thing went. Because I don't recall how to get that off. But you guys are going to be here with me, so yeah, we're going to kind of learn together. I'm trying to remember how I got those on, because I know it was something special that was on there. I feel like it's probably somewhere around my desk. Or not. And yes, I have a bunch of random stuff all across my desk because I have like fucking ADHD mixed with autism. It doesn't work out very well. But I can look at a camera and I can talk to a camera, and I'm much more comfortable talking to a camera than I am people. Welcome to my life. Welcome to the life of an ADHD person. But while I'm actually at it, let me do this. I'm gonna unplug that, my HD audio. So do you want that? Even though I really never use it, so I don't really know why I keep plugging it back in. Oh well. God, I gotta vacuum this shit out again. Oh yeah, and then my little standoff for my GPU. You want to talk about a riser bracket for a GPU? Yes. Actually, if you wanted to get a vertical GPU bracket, definitely the designed by Cooler Master vertical GPU mount. Probably the simplest one. It's very versatile depending on how far close you want your GPU, whether you want it closer to your motherboard, away from your motherboard. You can kind of customize it by either removing this bracket if you really want to, going a little bit higher up-ish. And of course it already comes with the riser cable. Pretty solid riser cable. I just don't have it on there because I kept having some instability issues, and I thought that was a culprit, but probably not going to be putting that on there just because I don't need to. But I really got to find this one piece. That's what it is. Yeah. So it's literally a double-headed socket. So I need to just find that. Which, oh my god. Good luck to me. That's gonna be tedious. So I have a lot of stuff that ends up on this desk. And it's really annoying that I can't keep anything organized. Well, it is organized. Everything on the disk is organized, just my organized chaos. Creating it is my curse for what I choose to do in my disorganization organization. So, gonna try to find that, and I might just take you guys on the ride for me, or on the ride, on the ride for me, with me, something. Yeah, it'll be fun, cause I need that. Otherwise, I can't get my CPU off there, and that's kind of a bummer, cause I kind of need my CPU bracket for my AL, cause I kind of need my AL for my CPU. Because otherwise, this is all just going to be a bit of a pain. And that's not going to be fun. I just got to remember where the hell I put that thing. Or where it fell. So, yeah. But, what to talk about? Well, I'm trying to look for this thing. So, yeah, I have to find that thing. Otherwise, it's going to drive me crazy. But, a little bit about me. I've been to multiple states in the Union, and not in the Union. I was in the Air Force for about 6 years. Ironically, not doing tech. Which is very sad, not because I didn't want to. I wanted to, but my recruiter screwed me over and didn't tell me, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, that's my basement, get over it. Don't like it, don't care, get over it. Like I said, my recruiter ended up screwing me over, not telling me that if I wanted to be in tech or IT for the military, that I would need to take a test, kind of a placement test for that, which kind of blows that he didn't tell me about that. I swear to God, if I end up looking back at that box one more time and I end up finding it, I'm going to be pissed. But I think that might be what I have to do, because it may just be in there. Or hopefully what I didn't do is toss it out because I didn't know what the hell it was. But I don't think so, because I thought it was so unique and so cute. Doubtful. Or I end up finding it at the most random time, but I need it now. I need it now, oh my god. I really need it now. And push one shove, I can always go upstairs, grab my toolbox, and then bring it down here, and then use that. Because I do have a socket wrench set, which might actually be faster. Or it could be one of my many boxes of stuff. Nope, already went through there. Already went through there. already went through there. Definitely not gonna be in there. Definitely not gonna be in there. Maybe in there? Likely not. Alright, we're gonna go back to the other room where it's a little bit less dark and you guys can see me a little bit better. No, I thought it was there. But I gotta find this thing, because otherwise it is going to absolutely drive me crazy. Or I may just run upstairs and grab my Cyber Ridge set, which is what I'm just gonna do. Because I don't have time to do this, and I really need to get my PC up and running. Because that's gonna bug me. But this is really gonna bug the shit out of me. The fact that I cannot find this one little like thing, because it's literally like yay long and like that thick. So technically it is easy to get lost. But what I fear is that my brother-in-law may have came down, saw it, played around with it, and then took it upstairs with it and forgotten about it. But yeah, I'm gonna pause the video. I'm probably gonna edit this together now because I've been running for about a little over an hour. I might actually have to edit this thing whole, just kind of cover everything, or I might just splice it together somehow on my phone. We'll see. But be right back. We're back. So what I had to go get is my socket wrench set. Shout out Craftsman, you guys do make good shit. And now trouble comes with trying to find which long bit is gonna fit. Is it gonna be a 5/16? It's slightly bigger than a 5/16. Great. Please, dear God, tell me they did not use something non-standard. Because it's going to suck. Oh, thank God. So, for you guys, in case you are not aware, Montech, in case you have a Montech AO, they use the 11/32 bit. So in case you accidentally lose your little screw thing, they use the, I'm trying to get it to match my face. All right, let me do this, do this. Damn it. There we go. So now, face tracking's back. This may actually just make it a little bit easier. So I just wanted to loosen it up a little bit because this actually has a very ingenious little thing, because it actually has a screw with a spacer already attached to it, so you don't have to do the whole bullshit of, oh my God, did I put the spacer in right? I don't care. Oh my God, did I put the spacer in right? I don't care. So probably what I'm going to actually do is transplant all these screws over. And the motherboard's still attached. So props to Montech for thinking of that good ingenuity and not doing something stupid. But annoying that you guys actually made a part that was so easy to be lost that I had to actually go upstairs and get my tools. That's a little bit annoying because I had to get them from my garage. But welcome to the party. And yes, I had grease on my hands. Get over it. I don't care. Got some rubbing on my shirt, but things can be dirty in my hands, but not really. At least in my head, it works that way. I'm not a germaphobe. I just don't like things. Ah, fuck! I'm never gonna get used to that. This is always the most scary part. Of CPU, the installation. All the pins look beautiful. Hell yeah. We're in business. And we're going to transplant this over to my new motherboard. Which, yes, I will show it closing because it's very satisfying. I didn't actually check the pins, but because it came out of the factory, actually I may have to. All the pins are in order. And I'm gonna have to cut it in again because I accidentally did an oopsie. Hit the wrong button. So, bugger. I'm gonna have to get that to stop doing that. So, now we're gonna do the one-handed clip. This is always terrifying, but there goes the little clip. So that way, it's a protector. I may just throw that on the other one, but I'm pretty sure I didn't throw away my other protector. So, it should be still good, even if I can sell it to my buddy. Because I do like reusing parts. Fun fact, don't lose this stuff, especially with the AM5. Because the pins, they're not on it like any other. They're very different. So, now we have our CPU. Let me run over, grab my handy screwdriver, which I forgot the bit right here. So, because I had my small bit on, I gotta get my big bit on. Yeah, you like that big bit, don't you? I know, a little bit of cringy, but welcome to the party. And screw one off. Never lose these screws. They're a bitch to come by. My recommendation, put them in here, throw them back into the motherboard box. That's what I'm gonna do, so I don't lose any of this shit. So I always have my hardware. Why do I know this? Because I've ended up having to look for it before, and one of my previous AIOs actually did not use the special standoffs and everything. Which was very different. Luckily, my AIO actually just doesn't require any special backplate or nothing. It literally just requires this. So I'm going to actually transplant that, all those 4 screws, over onto here, which now I need to throw my hands up again. Let's go with that. And we're going to get this installed. Because that way, I'm going to hand tighten them initially. Luckily they do have the spacers, so bonus points for that. They have the spacers actually pre-installed, which is fantastic. I can't get over the fact that that's just a standard feature of these standoffs. I'm just gonna minor, maybe like a quarter turn to where it feels a little bit tight-ish, but not too tight because I don't want to break the motherboard. A little bit tight. A little bit tight. Then we can actually start working on the actual other motherboard. That's the kind of more important part because I need this one and that one over here. So, but don't worry. When it actually comes to installing the motherboard, which I may have actually forgotten to unplug something, which I did. And what did I forget to unplug? My very awesome thing. So all my cables are looking great. I do have to grab that shield. So this motherboard is going to be immediately going straight into this anti-static sleeve because I like to take care of things. And let me bend that back because it's not as bad. Just like that. I think I put that in right. Probably not. I don't think I bent any pins. Probably not. Most likely not. But either way, it's going to be oh, there we go. Let me just double check, because in case. Zero bent pins. Beautiful. I know that didn't bend pins. Screw you. But I just want to check just in case. There's a little speck of something in there. There's a little speck. But I do like to be careful in case I pass this stuff along to my friends, which I usually end up doing. So, you don't like it? If you don't like that, I pass stuff off onto my friends and sell it to them. Oh well. That's not American. Oh, that's where I put it. Trying to remember where I put my screws so I can roughly lay out how it went. But it's okay, even if there's maybe like one or two of these motherboard screws, because I do have a whole kit that came with the case, which is great, and I never lost that. I may have to add one other thing from my, which is a second CPU power, so that way I can get full power for my CPU. Because currently, I think that might have also been part of my issue, is that I was slightly bottlenecking my CPU. I see why my CPU is not compatible. I finally see where the revision is. I said my revision should be near the top. It was not. My revision is the 1.1. So that might have something to do with why the BIOS was acting a little bit funny. So I have currently board revision 1.1, which I even double checked. For revision 1.1 is not compatible with 9000 series CPUs. Howl's actually been working. Power of Linux, baby. That's all I got for you. Power of Linux, baby. Really? I had a little reset CMOS button basically right up there. I'm done. That's annoying as hell. Oh, yeah, and also my other USB connectors. Let me shove that fucker back in there a little bit so it doesn't get in the way of my motherboard removal. There we go. So now I can unplug my other CPU power connector. Why do they always make them in the most awkward place? A little bit of word for the CPU manufacturers. Please, 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 dear God, or the motherboard manufacturers or case manufacturers, please don't put AIO, have it where your AIO, like the AIO is going to be sitting right next to the fucking like CPU header. Like, that's really annoying. I understand that there's case limitations and whatnot, but dear God, that's the most obnoxious thing ever when the one thing you need to do it. But yeah, no, old board out. And it's still being connected because it still has the main connector or the main screws right here. Can confirm I did not short anything out. This is going into the bag. Which is going back into the box. Yep, right here. So now for the fun part, or kind of fun. Oh my God, that looks so clean, but messy. And so the camera's getting warm. So yep, there's how it kind of looks. Good thing I did not actually try to get the backwards compatible motherboard, because that would have not, like the back to front, it's like, yeah, it sounds great in theory, but it's not going to really work that well. Because why? Because fuck you. That's why. And now we're dealing with, my face being tracked. So let me just make sure that everything's all on the up and up. Take another sippy sip. Which, this is kind of fun. I haven't actually done this in forever, but yeah. Well, actually, I haven't done like a video chasing me doing something IT-wise So that's very new for me. I normally am a bit more terrified of doing this kind of thing because I'm afraid I'm going to make mistakes that I may not recover from, which I really do hope this is not a mistake. Okay. Did not realize I had a standoff there. Of course it is. So my CPU 3 connector is going to be right here for my I/O. My F panel, which is what I was referring to earlier, is literally just the F panel. Boop, done. That's literally it. It doesn't require any sort of special crazy ass shit. It's literally just the F panel. HD audio. You're still going in there just because, in case I want to use you. And yes, I understand. I might have installed that upside down. Oh, nope, that was the right way. Fuck. I'm down. And no, I didn't double check and make sure all these shits were gonna just work out of the box. Fuck you. I don't care. No, I want to at least make sure that I can get this thing to post. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I don't like that I have to screw these in separately every time. It is much easier than like the little ergoderks, where I can actually use this to separately to like kind of screw in the screw and then just tighten it on the end. Whereas the other ones that I've dealt with on like super cheap motherboards that I've dealt with, they just literally have like just a little ergoderk and just a long ass wire. Whereas the new one is going to be much better, where it's simpler, more effective, so much simpler. And now it's in screw mode. Screw in mode, I should say. There we go. And it won't screw no more. So when you're ever in doubt, just screw till you can't screw no more. Screw where you're supposed to, not where you just think you should. Ensure you also have adequate lighting when you're doing this. Like this. This is actually a very old school light bulb, or a very old school chassis with a smart bulb in it. So it's technically a smart light bulb. Because I literally figured, because we had it just lying around the house and I was like, fuck it. We already have one, let me just use it. Because I can actually maneuver it somewhat. Some people would probably just buy another one. But I just already happen to have an extra spare bulb that only takes, even though its capacity I think is up to like 70 watts, 65, 70 watts of output, or compatible with 65, 75 watts roughly, don't quote me, 100%, I don't know, I'm not an electrician, I really don't know, but technically it only actually takes about 8 watts of power to power the damn thing. And I believe that this motherboard, the reason why it has an HDMI on the inside, which I didn't realize until just now, is due to the fact of, in case you need something that has a display on the inside of the case, which probably is why it has the HDMI on the inside. It's cool. Or you wanted a secondary HDMI, which is still really cool. That it's just already installed on the motherboard, which is great. I'll take all the I/O I can. I know one of those is definitely going to be my CPU fan. The other one's going to be opt. I may have to actually reroute something along the back, because it looks like all my other headers are on the bottom. Oh, it does. Oh my god. It is a power and reset on the top. That's fantastic. I love that. I really love that. Like the fact I've never, if I seem really jazzed about like a lot of this stuff, it's because I actually am. No, not a lot of the components are going to necessarily match color-wise, and yes, this kind of looks a bit out of place in this chassis because it's all black, a little bit of color, but I wanted to have a little bit of color, and kind of also wanted to piss off a few people, because some people are going to be like, oh my god, you should have just done I don't care, it's my shed. Yes, I have black RAM with a white silverish motherboard, but I wanted to add a little bit of color because I've had a lot of really dark shit happen in my life, so that's why the PC was much more dark themed. And my daughter's been bringing a lot more life and like light into my life, so I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a nice thing and have it be a bit more bright and colorful. So now we're going to move on to the CPU. Suspense. Really? Oh, ancillary pump. Okay. Cool. We're in business now. And if you hear a baby crying, it's because she's crying because you haven't subscribed. So, while my baby did not cry, subscribe. Please. I would love it. I really would. She would too. She'll stop crying when you guys subscribe more. And honestly though, if you guys could really like and subscribe this video, like subscribe to my channel, like this video, that would actually really make my day. I had something happen earlier that really kind of bummed me out. It didn't really make my day go very great. It kind of just ruined the whole good vibe that I had going on today. Because I ended up finding out that I didn't actually get a job that I was hoping I was going to get. And it ended up going south, and I didn't end up getting it. So I'm trying to make the best. And that's why I ended up actually coming down here and wanted to film. Because I wasn't in a great headspace, but dealing with tech, my wife even was like, she's like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. It will be okay. I'm not trying to bring this up. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I kind of want this whole channel to be about realness. And people just not just faking shit, because I hate fake shit. I don't like it when people just bullshit and say, oh, everything's fine, when everything's absolutely, like just going completely asunder and all over the place. I know a lot of tech YouTubers who end up being like, oh my god, everything's fine, everything's dandy, everything's fine with the industry and everything. And I'm not trying to sound like a doom and gloomer where, oh my god, the world's going to end because AI is taking over everything. Well, yes and no. At the end of the day, AI is taking over just about everything. Just making sure that that is actually making contact. I'm making sure. Here we go. There we go. You gotta laugh at the goofiness in life. Technology can only go so far, and it can only take you so far. Realistically, that's why I didn't. Kind of a backstory of I ended up hopping off of Windows because I didn't like how a lot of the industry was just pushing Windows down everybody's throat. I didn't like that. I still don't like that. Still very. I know I sound like a weird person because I run Linux, and I know I sound maybe like an arch user of like, oh, well, I run Linux, so you should run Linux. Honestly, if you want to run Linux, great. If you don't want to run Linux, don't run Linux. Don't. Just don't. Don't feel like anything I've said is trying to push you towards running anything you do or don't want to do. There we go. Very satisfying. If you want to run it, great. If you don't, oh well. It is what it is. Some of those cables I may need to rerun or run somewhere else because did not take that into consideration. Because it only has like a CPU opt and a CPU fan. But I have an AIO. And apparently the AIO system fans or the pump fan is all the way on the bottom. This is apparently version 1.1. So if anything goes wrong, I'm going back to Micro Center and getting my swapping out with another motherboard. If anything goes wrong on this out of the box, I'm going to be going back to Micro Center. So kind of fun trip, always enjoyable. Just taking another swag because I can. Also, shout out to Bunker Branding and Unsubscribe for coming out with a super awesome shirt. Even the guys, and no, Micro Center, don't get mad at the guys that work for you, but the guys from Micro Center did actually love this shirt. They absolutely loved the Come Subscribe shirt. Super funny. Always gets a laugh out of everybody. As soon as the dude actually at Micro Center saw me with this shirt, he just busted out laughing. He's like, "Oh my god, that is so funny as hell." He's like, "I have not seen a shirt like that in a minute." So now we're gonna install my GPU. But dude actually was very enthusiastic about how I've noticed this every now and again, that some of the guys at Micro Center, they don't tend to take themselves too seriously, which I really appreciate. Because honestly, you shouldn't take yourself too seriously. Because if you do, then when are you going to have fun? There we go. Oh, that's a beautiful slot. Beautiful slot. And I will show you the motherboard in a second. But, like, I'll be honest, I've been through a lot of really fucked up shit. That's the only way I can describe it, is with cousin. I've been through some really fucked up situations in my life, and wearing shirts like Come Subscribe. The sun will come out tomorrow, unfortunately. Another Bunker Branding unsub collab. I've just had to deal with way too much negativity that I just really want to try to like kind of bring some sort of joy and lightness to the world. And I know, and this is kind of back onto the tech side, I know I said I was going to probably take off the extensions, but I'm probably not going to do that just because I'm too anxious. And I really want to see if this is actually going to work. So, yes, I kind of censored myself there, but get over it. Oh my god, I hate that song. My daughter actually likes some Spanish little song about a bee. I thought Baby Shark was annoying. Yeah, I'm about to be annoyed out of my fucking mind because my daughter likes really random Hispanic baby songs. Or kid songs, I guess you could say. But she's not very old, so it's understandable why she likes that kind of shit because it's very random. It's kind of colorful. And no, even though I'm a tech head, I try not to let her be exposed to too much tech. Like, when I say I'm a tech head, like the fact that I got a 49-inch monitor, I have a 27-inch monitor, my wife has two 32-inch monitors. I custom built my wife's PC, which you're probably going to end up seeing on here because I may end up actually having to take the whole fucking thing apart because I want to clean it out because I haven't cleaned it out since I really gave it to her a couple years ago. She hasn't used it that much recently because the baby and all, and a lot of shit's been just moving around and it's been a bit chaotic. But I do at least want to actually, let me turn that off so I don't blind myself. Because I want to, I did tighten that too much. So I tightened my case a bit too much, but lucky thing is, it comes off pretty easily. And in case you guys are wondering, the case is actually the Montech King 95 Pro case. What makes it Pro? It comes with fans. The King 95 in general does not come with fans. The King 95 Pro does. And what's so unique about it? Well, it's big, it's beautiful, it's red. I like red, as you may have could tell by, I don't know, the red, like the red and black. I like, because I actually got made fun of a lot growing up for loving black. I really do love the color black. It's one of those things that I've never been able to get away with. A lot of people try to not let me get it, let me live it down. Let me work with this cables. Because let me also try to figure out which ones are which. Which I may need to turn that back on so I can actually tell which ones are which. And if you could actually see the behind here, which I may end up showing at some point. This is this. This is part of my Montech lens. No, that is my external fans. Okay, that so we're gonna make the pump the fan opt, the CPU fan opt, because I'm not putting that all the way down to the bottom. Even though I can probably reach there, I'm not doing that. And this is just kind of anxiously put together because I really want to get this shit put together and set up. Because I really want to test out and see how it works. So I'm going to try to maneuver this around here because I have a clusterfuck of cables in the back. I know, don't make fun of me for my cable management. It works, and the giant thing in the back, like this that you're seeing right here, it kind of hides majority of the cables, so you can't see how much of a rat's nest it is. It's just awesome. I love that about this case. It was about $170 when I bought it. So if you can find it for literally any cheaper than $175, you're in business. Like, you're just straight up just taking advantage of it. Appreciate that you got such a great deal. I paid $170 for this. God, that looks different, but I don't hate the aesthetic. So let me tilt this R. I'm gonna maneuver that light over there, so that way you can illuminate over there, which is actually bouncing towards my face, which kind of works. Bugger. This is the problem when you actually have a very large case, very little room to work in. But we will make do. Probably would have made a lot more sense to put the GPU in last, but I don't feel like taking it out right now. So we're gonna have my hand scrunch and he struggle for a little bit. Okay. Scratch that. We're gonna find where my tweezers went, which are not here. Here's my tweezers. Honestly, just to solidify everything and just kind of split everything up, I may do part 1, part 2, part 3. And I forgot that I put something here. Yep, there's the back of my case. I forgot to put that there. Welcome to my life. I forgot that I put things certain places. I understand you guys can't see what I'm doing quite right now. What I'm trying to do, it would also be, even if I wasn't filming, it'd be very tedious of doing, which, in case you guys are wondering, yes, I usually end up drinking when I'm building a PC. Why? Because it's fun. Also makes it much more interesting when I see a lot of people make mistakes of PC building when they are sober, and so I can actually make fun of them that when I don't make mistakes like that when I am, I guess you could say, on the bottle. Okay, screw it. We're just gonna take the GPU out. Oh, I don't want to take the GPU out because then I have to unplug it and everything. We're not taking the GPU out. We're just gonna struggle a little bit more. So one specific fan header that I really want to get to is way over there, specifically right above the one PCIe lane. Sorry if I'm not talking right now, I'm just really trying to hyper focus. Which I can do, sadly, only with like really PC building or when I'm trying to make a baby. Always fun. And yes, I understand that the auto focus enabled and deselected my face. That's how it goes. Hey! I got it in there. That's awesome. Isn't that special? So, let me flip. There we go. So, now we're back on my face. Now my next piece of face. So, yeah. We're going to actually flip this back over, ironically. Because if you can actually see right down there, that's PCIe, it's System 1. Even though it's literally all the fans, the front 2 fans, the 3 fans on the bottom, and the 1 fan on the back, which, yeah, eventually I'm probably going to actually have these top 3 as intakes, the side 3 is also intakes, and the bottom 3 are already reverse blade fans, which even the front ones I actually had to flip around because they're reverse blades, so I needed them as intakes instead of outputs, so I didn't want it to have exhausting air out the front and the back, or the front and this, yeah, kind of the front and the back. I wanted to bring fresh air in from the front and having it exhaust out the back, which, yeah, I'll just leave that there just because I really want to just get to this. I don't care about aesthetics right now, I just care about function. You know what they say, form over function. Or function over form. I mean, some people say form over function. Yeah, I don't care. And it's my PC. If I want it to look like, if it works, that's all I'm happy about. Especially after all I've been doing to this. One thing I will actually probably keep you guys definitely on the line for is when I go into the BIOS and disable secure boot. Because I don't like that. I am not a fan of secure boot. Because it makes my Linux no worky. Because realistically, I don't care what anybody else says. The only purpose for a secure boot is so that way you can make sure that you're running Windows, or sorry, Microsoft Windows 11. That's all it is. It's Microsoft. Windows, you want to get mad at me? Okay. Satya Nadella, get mad at me. I don't care. And I accidentally almost pinched wires there, so let me get that changed. So stop pinching wires because I really don't want them damaged. Because while I don't care about cable management at the moment, I do care about cables still working in the end. I do need my PC to still work, because technically with all the parts and everything put together, it's worth about $5,000 to $6,000. Especially with the new added motherboard, it increased it by probably another like 50, 75 bucks. So probably closer to the $5,000 to $6,000 range. Especially for my whole setup, yeah, that's astronomically more. I mean, my mixer I got for about 200 bucks. The mic stand itself is still going for like 70 bucks. So yes, not very cheap mic for the mic stand, but it's a low profile one because I wanted to test one of those out and I didn't have one. And currently the one that came with the microphone, the original microphone, which is actually the 5-fine, I don't remember what model this is, but it's like the basic 5-fine mic where it has XLR and USB-C input. I'm probably going to actually use this for a podcast later on as a secondary. So the other person will technically have a worse mic than me, but oh well. I do have a mixer that's compatible with 2 different microphone styles and whatnot. One of the other things that, like, I don't hate this style of mic, but it does bother me that this does not tighten a little bit more. I like it when it could actually tighten a little bit. I would love it if it would actually tighten a little bit more, but it doesn't, so no, that's annoying. It's still just, these are very free, just going, but it's not a terrible mic. I don't particularly like it. I haven't actually experienced how this mic sounds because I'm not actually wearing a mic or anything, so let me know how it sounds. Otherwise, it does at least actually have it where you can add different mounts and whatnot, so good to know if you guys haven't been aware. Actually my other mic, yeah, that was another piece of hardware that I have just lying around. This is actually the bag that came with my mic, which is handmade microphones, Soyuz microphones. They're actually a Russian and American, like it was a Russian businessman paired with an American, or yeah, an American engineer with a Russian businessman. They ended up teaming up together and creating a beautiful company known as Soyuz. So that way they can create a beautiful product, which is microphones. And they're actually hand manufactured microphones. They're manufactured over in Russia, I believe. If I read the documentation properly. But I really don't care when my microphone is made. Yes, I'm American, but as long as they make my microphone like sound as it should, I don't care where it's made. I really don't. Okay. Wanted to make sure I didn't have the zero fan on, because I want to make sure that everything works. But now it's time to take my whole computer over onto this, which I'm going to try and show you is my little sled, so it keeps it off the ground. There's all my cables and everything just lying there on the ground. No, don't hate on me because I have all my cables on the ground. Oh well. It's not gonna hurt the stuff anyway. And I'm probably gonna end up actually able to do something else. And yes, my PC does weigh this much. It's a large PC. Very, 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 very large PC. And before I actually do anything further, of plugging it in, turning it on, all that. Let me make sure that I plug in this so that way I don't have to worry about it later. Is this magnetic? Yes, it is. Thank God. I'm going to go with that it's supposed to be this way. Okay, that was satisfying. Very satisfying right there. And we're going to move over here, which you're actually now on top of my PC, which is cool. So, yeah, you're kind of getting the bird's eye view. Oh yeah, in case you didn't notice, that is actually a quack bang duck. No, it's not rubber. Wish it was. It's one of those foam ducks, but quack bang out. Fat electrician, really funny videos. Good videos, very educational. Both fat files, love fat files, and well, both fat files, and I'm blanking. I don't remember which monitor was which, but we're just gonna go with it. That was definitely my microphone, or my speakers. If you guys can see me or hear me, awesome. I fell off my chair. Yes, I don't have the most incredible setup for like lengthwise cables and whatnot, but I don't care. As long as it functions and it works exactly as I intended to, such is what matters. So, yep, you're seeing a little bit of the back of where my PC is. So, this is where it gets interesting. I gotta keep saying my gimbals endpoints have been already reached. So now I'm going to switch on here for a sec. All right. So here we have moment of truth. Will it turn on? She springs to life, but will she pause? Yes, and smash it into the delete key. So I want to see the boot. Not sure actually which one I'm just going to go to, either this one or this monitor. Either one. I don't really care which.